again, before I get to the obvious and what you expect me to talk about tonight, there's another hit coming for the retirees of this country. For people who might have a house that they own, but of course, because they live in it, there is no money that comes from it. They, of course, could be the self-funded retirees who are leaving 4/5 of bugger all pressure on the system, or people who may well be getting some sort of a pension where, of course, your constant worry is how many hours can I work, how much money can I have in the bank, how much is the house particularly worth? Well, all of that matters. Well, there's a thing called deeming rates, where essentially calculations are done about how many assets that you have and about how much access that gives you to the welfare system via an age pension, carer's pension, etc., etc. But a decision was made during the pandemic times to make sure that people on these fixed incomes, be they the people who are getting it out of their super fund because they were able to amass it during their life, or the people who hang on to every single cent when it comes to the pension. In fact, this is not a dark remnants of the COVID era. It is one that just last year the Treasurer was saying was important, which was to freeze deeming rates, to essentially make life just that little bit easier for people in the back nine of their life.
We're also continuing the freeze on social security deeming rates.
Well, guess what's happening? They are changing the rules. The freeze is over, and as you know, as we reported a little earlier this year, that these things are now making their way up. An initial increase of 0.5%, so yes, it's a small change, but still important. This meant that it apparently saved the budget $1.8 billion. Why? Because that's $1.8 billion in help for self-funded or pension-related retirees that didn't need to be paid out, meaning the retirees of Australia $1.8 billion poorer. The government cited the end of the inflation crisis as the reason to move on. Previously, it had kept the rates at COVID levels to help with post-pandemic cost of living crisis. Well, last time I checked, inflation is a massive problem now. Cost of living, well, did it ever go away? And the people most affected by it are those on those fixed incomes. Now, we got another report that inflation is now the highest that it's been in the best part of 12 months, and it's in a scenario where, because everything costs more, the small amount of money that you are locked into goes, well, less than it ever has. And it may well get worse. Why? Because the inflation genie is out of the bottle. The government's little paper over Band-Aid solution when it came to power bills is going to disappear. Power bills will increase anyway, but they're also going to, in all of these metrics, overperform in their increases because of the artificial way they were being held back for the past couple of years. In fact, inflation is now such an issue that there is no plan for a rate cut anytime soon, and there is a even money chance of a rate rise next year.
Headline inflation is very much swung around by the on and off of the electricity rebates, and we're not expecting headline inflation to come back down below 3 for another 12 months effectively.
Well, guess what? The news that has broken today is that it's happening again. It's not just the one that took place a little earlier this year. There is going to be another one next year, and it won't just be once a year. Pensioners with assets are set to be hit with a second successive time. You'll cop this in March with the government confident of an increase in the deeming rate, despite the outsourcing of a decision to an independent body, because, of course, this government, well, it doesn't want to own any crappy decisions. They pretend, oh, it's all arm's length. Who pays them? Oh, the government, meaning you still control them? Yeah, that's the case. The government has also decided that the deeming rate, which had been frozen at record lows for years, was increased last September, will be adjusted every September and every March. So again, what little money you have, they are going to put you back through the ringer as if there was no inflation, as if we were still where we were 4 years ago. This will be on the same day as pension indexation to inflation, ensuring that the impact of any increase to the deeming rate will be masked by an increase to the pension. Now, of course, what this really means is that if previously holding on to the deeming rates and freezing them was costing the budget money. By letting it go up, it means it's not costing as much, meaning who pays? You. Is it going to be the difference between you being able to have the power on or not? I don't know. I certainly think that it is going to be yet another financial concern for lots of people. Your circumstances will be very specific, and whether or not those increases to the pension, which happen annually, are going to mask all of this. But of course, the reality is that if your home is worth more every 12 months than it was in the previous 12 months, well, then you know how the system starts to turn and fiddle. Deeming rates are a one-size-fits-all estimate of the income people earn on their financial assets, such as property and term deposits, because God forbid you were saving money, which affect the calculations for their social security payments, including the age pension, job seeker and parenting payments. Why politically is it okay to start coming after people who have already paid tax all their life? Why is it politically okay for the deeming rates, which were a virtue when the government was freezing them, to now not be a problem when they are going to increase in the space of 18 months, not once, not twice, but 3 times, 2 Septembers and a March? Well, because much of the media only has one view of people of a certain age, and you know how insulting that view can be.
Okay, boomer.
The boomer generation.
Values of like baby boomers, the first thing that I think of is kind of just the whole like hard work gets you pretty much anywhere mindset, and I just feel like that's so toxic.
Toxic, right? You're watching us right now because of the hard work that you put in life. To be able to be sitting exactly where you are right now, to be able to be watching us as you are right now, from the house you're in to the chair you're sitting on. Oh, no, that's all toxic logic, please. Again, before I get to the obvious, some other things that are across the desk tonight.